Yo conozco ese sonido.
I'm so excited. I'm literally and genuinely so freaking excited to get on set and start this next season. I mean, first season was so much fun, and the roller coasters, I can only imagine the kind of awesomeness that Jenny has in store for us. It means that I have to work really hard for season 2. That's what it means. It means that I want to and desire to work doubly as hard as we did first season. Patience and faith. I wanted Jane to have a life so bad. I wanted the show to be able to be exposed to people so they can see it and laugh and cry with us. And that happened, and it was such a blessing, and it was wonderful. And then we wanted more people to see it, and then we just wanted like the world to see it. And what I realized is that everything in time, everything in its right time. We left Jane in a very beautiful place, very strong, very much so in love with her child, putting herself and her child first, knowing that she doesn't need to have a man, although she would love a man in her life, she doesn't need to have one in order to make this experience beautiful and real and very special to her. And that was the experience of having Mateo. And so we leave her at a very beautiful place. She is yet to know that Mateo is gone. We're going into the season 2, and I'm excited to see Jane's strength. You know, I'm excited to see the strength and a different kind of strength that we've seen. We've seen Jane very strong and very fearless. She sticks up for herself. But this is a territory she doesn't know about, and motherhood, and how she deals with motherhood, how she deals with the fact that her child's, you know, missing in the beginning is going to be very interesting to see how Jenny writes that. And it's going to be wonderful to see how Jane continues to pursue herself as a woman and grow as a woman outside of being a mother and doing those things at once. We are going to explore a really great conversation, which is women and men, you know, both keeping a sense of themselves when they add on this new title, keeping a sense of their dreams and their determination, and maybe it's just redirected now, or maybe there's a different purpose now. But I think you're going to find Jane to be even stronger, even more willing to take risks because of her motherhood, and preserving a sense of self throughout that, which is not easy. You know, I saw it with my own mother, I see it with my sisters, like it's not easy to do that. So it's gonna be really encouraging and inspiring to play a woman that's going to try to figure that out, because then maybe we can talk about it and figure out answers, and maybe that'll prepare me for motherhood myself. If I was to look at her experiences with both characters, I would say that Michael, she lost trust in Michael because of something that was very huge to her, and she needs to know that her partner in crime has her back and is going to be honest with her, even when it's not something that we want to hear. You know, I think we all kind of want that. We all desire honesty and truth, even though we don't like it all the time. I think that that was a situation that put her in a very fearful place of Michael and how she can trust him going on in the future as a partner in crime. But then seeing another man that has fallen for her so greatly, that has so many other, that is very different from Michael. And I look at Michael and Rafael the way I look at Jane's pursuing of teaching and writing. One is very stable and realistic, and then the other one is a fantasy and seems too great and too big, too unreal to touch. What we discover in both of those, right, are the pros and cons of both of those. And that's kind of how Rafael and Michael look to me. One is very realistic and stable, and the other one seems to be a little bit too big and a little bit unreal to touch. But I think as she goes down the path as a human and realizes that dreams aren't all they're cracked up to be, or dreams aren't all that difficult to achieve if I just try. On the other hand, maybe stability is where I'd rather be now in a different point in my life with the baby coming and whatnot. So we're gonna see her go into those two different worlds. The way we left Jane on that season finale was where she was choosing Mateo. She was choosing that love to be her first love and to be the love that she prioritizes and focuses on. I think we also left her in a place where she stuck up for herself with the Rafael breakup, and she stuck up for herself with Michael coming so strong back into her life. She put a pause because she wasn't prepared to make a real decision that was going to be wise for her. I think that that's so beautiful. I wish as a woman I owned that at times, just to stop and say, let's take a breather. Let me see where I stand. Let me see what's best for my life. Not just making decisions because they're more comforting or they're more routine or they're safer, but more so just taking a pause. So I think that the way she deals with her love triangle, if I was to guess, is going to be the way she decided to put herself and her child first towards the end, which is no rash decisions, no quick decisions. Let me see what's best for my life and what's honest for my life. I think that the core of the story is a family story, is that, you know, our family are our friends. Our family is where we learn our lessons from and learn our mistakes from and learn to grow from. And, you know, very much so and reflective of any culture, really, but at least personally in Latino culture, family is very important, very strong. But when you're living in a comedy that is so crazy and wild and outlandish, that hardcore family communal love, genuine, authentic, grounded experience is what keeps the audience feeling and not just laughing or crying because they have no idea why, because it's such a crazy roller coaster of emotions, but they really can connect. And that's where we have our heart. That's the heart of Jane, is right there with those women on that porch, the porch of tears is what I call it, because I'm always crying on that porch. I think that it was obviously done in not the most sound state of mind that my parents got married, but I think that their love for each other is so strong and masked by so many insecurities and so clear to the naked eye that they really need to be together. So I think that it was really cool that they did it in that experience. So then season 2, we can really follow that choice that they made, where they go from that, where they stand as a couple, where they stand as my mom and dad. So I think that's going to be really fun storylines for them to keep playing on and figure out as a couple. But I think that was brilliant. Brilliant season finale. Jane had a dip in the way she viewed Petra because of my grandmother's being pushed down the stairs by her mother. But I think there was a moment there where Jane was starting to understand and sympathize with Petra's story and Petra's experience. She started to see Petra's lies, and then she felt differently. But I think Jane was also in a roller coaster of hormones, being pregnant, being afraid, trying to be protective, you know, and also going through a very wild experience. So it's going to be cool to see the projection and to see where they end up going and to see whether Petra gets pregnant or not. Oh, an absolutely loving, protective, appreciative father. I think before he finds out there's another sperm out there that's his, I think it's going to be that moment of, this is what I always dreamt of. I didn't think I was going to be able to have this, and now I can. And, you know, I think a pretty amazing father. And I think Michael would be a pretty amazing stepfather. Oh, he's going to be the best grandfather. He's going to be spoiling Jane's baby to no end and wanting us to call it Matelio instead of Mateo. And I think he's going to be incredible. I get the script the day before we start shooting, but I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow, so why would I want to know what's happening to Jane? A little bit of me is like, oh, but it's so juicy that I just do want to know, like, who am I getting married to and, like, what's going to go down? Because the story is so juicy and so fun, you know, and because I know Jenny is just going to go to town, it'd be nice I mean, it'd be fun. I'm not good at surprises, so. But with Jane, I have no choice, and I'm okay with that. There are no words that can really express how ridiculously and awesome and grateful I am to have had this past year. This past year was, there are no words, hands down. It's a feeling that I want to give anyone else, everyone else, anybody that I meet. I feel like if there was ever a doubt, if there was ever a fear, if there was ever a moment of pain or rejection or insecurity, you know, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. So if I have any advice to anybody that's going after something and hears no after no, or you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this enough, it's never gonna happen, your dream's too big, just don't stop trying, because the second it does, it all erases. It all goes away. It all goes away, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna do something to make somebody else's life a little easier, because you don't live in this world alone, and this is just too good to keep to yourself.
Yo conozco ese sonido.